Hello, my name is Russell Jones. I'm a member of Sagamok Anishinaabe, and I am digging into our enterprises, businesses, companies, and by our I mean Sagamok members. Um, there's quite a bit, but we're focusing right now on GR Truss and a $7 million land deal in Sault Ste. Marie. Um, Three names keep popping up in the paperwork surrounding this company and project, uh, and that's Paul Gwindon, Ryan McLeod, and Angus Sluice. Angus Sluice is president of GR Truss. This is a screenshot from an Ontario Business Registry pull. As you can see, he's listed as the president, and that was effective April 1st, 2025. Now, Ryan McLeod is Sagamok's financial advisor through McLeod Consulting. Um, Another registry pull to a Sagamok enterprise called Legend Mining shows that he's also a director of one of our companies, and we know it's one of our companies because our audited statement says we own 51% of it. Um, Whether or not he's the trustee of our settlement money is still an open question. So back in whenever this was, 2025, um, council approved $7 million for the Sioux housing project. And from the same minutes, you can see Ryan McLeod was in attendance as the financial advisor. So presumably he was advising on this project. 5 weeks later, the land that we bought for $7 million was put down on paper here. This is again a Ontario, well, it's not a business registry pull, but it's from Ontario's On Land uh, website, which inexplicably you can only pull from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Um, Anyhow, this document shows, well, the transfers right there. The first transfer of $1.2 million. It switched hands from whoever owned it previous to, what does it say, 2023. It's a little small on my screen, whatever that says. It was a few years back. um, Paul Gwindon's numbered company purchased it for $1.2 million, and then 15 months later sold it to Sagamok for $7 million. This numbered company on the same line as the $7 million sale is Sagamok controlled entity, and we have other records that well, I've had to piece this all together to figure out whose company's whose. Down on the left here, land seller, that's Gwendon's company. Um, we also know it's not connected to this land transfer at all, but we also know that Gwendon is a housing constructor, a developer. So the real question is he now also developing on the land? We're hoping to find that out. But within 15 months, did I say, the price went from 1.2 million to 7 million, and that's a cool 5.8 million dollars in Paul's company. There's two information requests I have on the go right now, one with the city of Sault Ste. Marie and another with CMHC, the Canada Mortgage Housing Corporation, maybe, I can't remember. But the city of Sault Ste. Marie should tell us exactly who the developer is, and I'm thinking that's going to be Gwendon's company. CMHC. So this is important because Sagamok started putting money into this development, into the construction of apartment units. I think it's like 121, but they started putting into money. They started putting money into it before they even had secured the financing from CMHC. It's in our minutes. I tried to keep this presentation and deck tight, so it doesn't quite get into that. But yes, we there's minutes that say pending financing. We got to keep development going, so let's put more money into it. And I believe there's a deadline for some sort of requirement changing at CMHC, which will in September would pretty much invalidate um, the financing application as it would have stood whenever they filed it, if it's even filed. That's part of the FOI request. Now, I pulled another poll from whatever Ontario PPSR is. I can remember. There's so much going on. It's hard to keep track. And this isn't really my area of expertise, but I've done my best. So I pulled the debts and liens on GR Truss this morning, and back in February, Gwynden's company and McLeod's company show up, becoming the creditors, I believe it is, on this John Deere payloader. So this is in February 2025, and then a few months later, Sagamok takes control. Angus becomes president, and over the course of from April 2025 to May 2026, council bing 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 moves $900,000 into the company. And why this is all important, the sequence, the overlap, like right here, January, I guess it was January 2025 was that payloader filing. This was right before Sagamok took control. And then April 1st, 2025, El Presidente Gus takes control of the company. And then right after that, same month, the money starts going in. So April to May, that's almost a year, $900,000. So, oh, yes, I added a slide just before I recorded this one. That same debt filing or that profile also included BMO claims over GR Truss assets back in February 2026. So this year, what any of that really means is it's unsure. It's just that if they owe money and GR Trust can't pay, I guess they get dibs at some of the assets. We don't really know because we don't have a loan paper. We got nothing. We got zilch. So it's a guessing game. And where does that lead us? These are the polite questions, I guess you would say. But as members, I'm sure you have your own questions, and I encourage you to voice those questions. Send them to Chief and Council. Show up to the information session that I'm putting on to, not tomorrow, sorry, Thursday, July 23rd at the Massey Legion. There's supposed to be a slide for this. My bad. But yes, Massey, July 27th, July 23rd, 6 p.m. Come, ask questions. I'll show you the data. There's a lot more to this than just the GR Trust Company. And yeah, there's plenty of questions to go around. And I hope to provide some of those answers. But really, we're going to have to insist that Chief and Council starts answering some of these questions that we're asking. And without further ado,